Everything people do, they do for a reason. And while there are endless stories people tell about their lives, their challenges, their dreams, and their struggles, all of these stories ultimately come down to a few core motivations. Human beings have certain fundamental needs they are always trying to meet, whether consciously or unconsciously. It might seem complicated when you listen to someone's life story, but underneath it all, there are only a few true needs driving everything. Every decision, every habit, every emotion can be traced back to these core needs. One of the primary needs is certainty. People crave a sense of stability, a sense that things are predictable and safe. Certainty provides comfort. It's a foundation upon which we feel we can build our lives. People will do extraordinary things just to feel certain. They will stay in jobs they hate, relationships that are unfulfilling, environments that are toxic, all because the uncertainty of change feels even scarier than the discomfort of the familiar. Certainty makes us feel secure, but ironically, certainty alone isn't enough. Once people get too much certainty, they start to get restless. This is where the need for uncertainty comes in. As strange as it may seem, we also need variety, adventure, the unknown. Life would feel unbearably dull if everything were predictable all the time. The surprise elements, the unexpected twists and turns, they give life its flavor. That's why people love mystery novels, extreme sports, spontaneous travel. Variety is truly the spice of life. But it's interesting, because people have different thresholds for how much uncertainty they can handle. Some thrive on constant change, others need just a sprinkle of surprise now and then. And when too much variety floods into someone's life, overwhelming them, it can turn from exciting to terrifying. The key is not to aim for some lukewarm middle ground, but to learn how to create both certainty and uncertainty in a way that empowers you. Even something as simple as rewatching a favorite movie shows this dual need. You watch it again because you're certain you enjoy it. But you also hope enough time has passed that it will feel fresh and surprising in parts you don't completely remember. Beyond certainty and uncertainty, another deep need is the need for significance. Every human being needs to feel important, unique, and valued in some way. Significance is that feeling that you matter, that you are seen, that your life has meaning beyond the ordinary. Some people chase significance by achieving great things. Others by helping people, others sadly by tearing others down just to feel a step higher. Significance can drive someone to create incredible beauty or devastating destruction, depending on how they go about meeting that need. The strategies people use to feel significant are as varied as people themselves. But here's the thing, if significance is prioritized above all else, especially above love, it can create isolation. When being important becomes more important than being connected, relationships suffer. Life can become a lonely contest instead of a shared journey. Most people aren't aware of the invisible forces that are shaping their lives every moment. Beliefs, values, emotions, these are the forces that drive everything. You can't see gravity, but it's holding you to the earth every second. You can't see the air, but without it, you wouldn't survive for a moment. In the same way, you can't see your beliefs or values with your eyes, but they shape every thought you think and every decision you make. People believe that achieving certain things will bring happiness, money, status, possessions. But there are countless examples of people who have everything and are still deeply miserable. Because it's not the external achievements that determine the quality of your life, it's the emotions you experience consistently. It's the feeling of being alive, the feeling of growth, the feeling of connection, the feeling of purpose. Those emotions are what create a fulfilling life, not the number of things you acquire. True happiness comes from learning to generate the emotions you want to feel, regardless of what is happening around you. From mastering your inner world, not controlling your outer world. Another fundamental human need is love and connection. While certainty and uncertainty can feel like opposites, love and significance often find themselves in conflict too. People crave love, real unconditional love, but many settle for connection, which is a watered-down version because love feels risky. Love demands vulnerability. It demands the possibility of pain, of loss, of heartbreak. And if someone has been hurt deeply before, they may fear opening up again, choosing the safer but less fulfilling path of mere connection. They find ways to feel connected through friendships, pets, communities, even virtual interactions. But deep down, they hunger for something more profound. The truth is, connection is everywhere if you look for it. It can come through nature, through faith, through art, through genuine conversation with another soul. Even a dog, with its unfiltered affection, can remind a person of the purest forms of connection. Dogs celebrate your existence every time you walk through the door, no matter how long you've been gone. It's a beautiful example of unconditional love that many people crave. The first four needs, certainty, uncertainty, significance, and love connection, are considered the needs of the personality. Everyone finds ways to meet these, whether in empowering ways or destructive ways. Even if someone has to lie to themselves, they will find a way to fulfill these needs. They're not optional, they are wired into the human experience, but there are two higher needs that move beyond the self, into the realm of the spirit. These are the needs that, if unmet, leave people feeling hollow even if they seem to have everything else. The fifth need is growth. In nature, nothing stays the same. You are either growing or you are dying. Growth is life itself. Growth is progress. It's not about achieving a final destination. It's about feeling that you are moving forward, expanding and becoming more than you were before. This can be growth in knowledge, growth in emotional resilience, growth in skills, growth in spiritual awareness. Growth feeds the soul in a way that material success never can. And finally, there is contribution, giving beyond oneself, making a difference, sharing what you have grown into. When you contribute, when you give from the heart, it expands your sense of meaning like nothing else can. It moves you beyond the small world of me into the vast, rich universe of we. Contribution doesn't have to mean grand acts. It can be as simple as being kind, as simple as listening to someone who needs to be heard, as simple as planting a tree that others will one day enjoy. There is something magical about contribution. When you share joy, it multiplies. When you give love, you feel more love. When you uplift others, you are uplifted. It's one of life's most beautiful paradoxes that when you give selflessly, you actually receive the deepest fulfillment. Of these 6 needs, each person has 2 that they prioritize above the others. These top 2 drive most of a person's decisions, reactions, and life patterns. Understanding which 2 needs are most important to you and to the people around you can transform your understanding of human behavior. For example, someone who prioritizes certainty will resist change fiercely. They will crave routine, structure, predictability. Someone who prioritizes variety, on the other hand, will seek out new experiences, thrive in change, and feel suffocated by too much routine. Similarly, if someone values significance above all, they will be constantly looking for ways to stand out, to be seen as important. Sometimes that leads to achievement and success. Sometimes it leads to destructive behavior if they feel unseen or unappreciated. If love and connection are prioritized, relationships will be at the center of that person's life. Growth-driven individuals will seek out challenges, education, and self-improvement. Those who prioritize contribution will be focused on service, on making an impact, on lifting others up. But even when 2 people have the same top needs, their lives can look drastically different because of the rules they have created about what must happen for those needs to be met. Rules are like invisible maps we create for ourselves. They tell us what needs to happen for us to feel successful, loved, important, or happy. These rules are often unconscious, yet they govern everything. For one person, feeling loved might require elaborate gestures of affection, grand expressions of devotion. For another, a simple kind word might be enough. For one person, feeling significant might require becoming world famous. For another, significance might be achieved by making a difference in their local community. These differences in rules create massive differences in experience. Imagine each need as a target. The actions we take, our arrows, are aimed at that target. But the way we sight the target, our values, shapes how and where we aim. If someone values freedom, for example, it's because they believe that freedom will help them meet certain needs like variety or significance. Someone who values security may be seeking to meet the need for certainty. Shifting the order of your needs or the meaning you assign to them can dramatically change how you experience life. If you can adjust your internal system, your beliefs, your rules, your values, you can transform your emotions and, by extension, your entire reality. What most people don't realize is how much their need structure is already controlling them. It determines who they are attracted to, what careers they pursue, what risks they are willing or unwilling to take, how they respond to stress, how they handle conflict. It shapes the trajectory of their lives in ways they are often completely unaware of. Once you begin to see these patterns, everything changes. You realize that what seemed like random behavior, yours or others, is not random at all. It is a logical expression of the underlying needs and the rules attached to them. And there's an even deeper truth. The quality of your life is the quality of your consistent emotions. It's not what you have or don't have. It's not even what happens to you. It's how you interpret what happens to you and the emotional patterns you live in day after day. If your dominant emotions are frustration, anxiety, and resentment, no amount of success or external achievement will make you feel fulfilled. But if your dominant emotions are gratitude, love, and joy, then even the simplest life can feel like a profound gift. By understanding and mastering these 6 human needs, certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection, growth, and contribution, you can gain mastery over your emotions, your behavior, and ultimately your destiny. You can learn to meet your needs in empowering ways instead of destructive ways. You can align your life with values that uplift you and others. And you can step into a life of deeper meaning, richer emotions, and true fulfillment.